Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome to the Grizzly Bear Sims Garage. Yes, you didn't know this, but now you do. Grizzly Bear Sims also does, not only does he do farming, trucking, the occasional flying, but he also does automobile repair. So this is our, well, little bit small and dirty beginner shop here. This is basically what you get when you start with Car Mechanic Simulator 18. Now, of course, you do get a pretty cool demo version, demo area that you can sort of play around with all the tools that you would certainly have access to. We have already completed that demo, and we have actually already completed some jobs. I think we've completed, I don't know, 7 or 8 jobs. I don't know if that 7 up there is an indicator of the number of jobs that we've done, but we've done quite a few jobs. I think maybe we've done more than that. We're gonna do an easy job. I think we're like 1 XP away from being able to unlock a couple of different options on our game here. So we're just gonna basically do this engine oil and filter and replace the filter here for this gentleman, whoever this is that owns this kind of car like this. And so a lot of differences between I'm going to probably say Farm Sim a lot when I mean Car Mechanic Simulator 15. There's a lot of differences between Car Mechanic Simulator 15 and Car Mechanic Simulator 18, as I'm sure if you are familiar with 15, you already sort of recognize some of these differences. So one of the key differences that is causing me just a little bit of problem, and I will admit it, is the fact that they have changed the way that you maneuver yourself. So, you know, here I am, the mechanic, walking around. They have changed this to where you have to use the W, A, S, and D keys, which obviously some of you guys are going to be quite familiar with those keys, because obviously that is how a lot of folks operate vehicles and stuff in these simulation-based games. For me, I am completely not used to that. Also, there's some differences, like before in 15, you had to click onto the oil thing and you had to physically drag it over, and you had to be very careful about where you placed it. Now we don't have to worry about that so much. We can just sort of and that's really, I guess, the only way to actually get it over there. I don't think we can click and drag it anymore. And then also the other really big change, and it took me a little while to figure this out because I was trying to figure out how to get the oil pan screw or bolt to drain the oil, how to get that out. Because in 15 we had to manually do that. Now you just basically point at the oil drain tank and you do use equipment, and then the oil will automatically drain out of the engine and into the oil drain thing, and we can go move equipment and move equipment back, and it's back over there. Back over there. It's out of our way, out of sight, out of mind. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so that was that was draining the oil. We are going to now need to figure out where the oil filter is. And there it is right there. So yeah, the controls, the W, A, S, and D is just a little odd for me, just because I am used in I'm going to do that quite a bit probably. I am used in Car Mechanic Simulator 15 to actually using the arrow keys, and that's what I prefer. Now the arrow keys will be coming back to Car Mechanic Simulator 18 from what I have read. I'm just going to look at the inventory right quick and see what kind of oil filter that was that I pulled off of there. That was an oil filter I4. So we're going to go over to our computer and go ahead and get one of those. Now we're supposed to basically have all kinds of new features again, sort of what I've mentioned. And oil filter I4. Now I have unlocked the discount option already, so you can see This was regularly $25, I believe, and now we're getting it for $2 cheaper at $23. So, you know, something, every little bit helps, and we're going to be thankful for that $2 savings as we kind of continue to move about our career here. So again, got to do this each time to basically switch from unmount part to mount part. The unmount part is by default, but then you've got to switch it over to mount part. Okay, so that is that. We'll go ahead and back out from underneath the car. I believe basically this was just a simple oil change and filter change. So we'll go ahead and lower the car down so that we can get to the air filter and most likely probably the fuel filter. Let's just check our job list here one more time. Oil filter, change oil, drain old and refilled with new. Okay, so I guess they don't need us or don't care about air filters and stuff like that. That's not a problem. We will give them exactly what they want. So we'll go ahead and remove the oil plug, and then you just hold down the mouse key and fill it up with oil, and it will eventually stop whenever it's full. There we go, just like that. And then you can hit your escape button and take that off. One thing I was going to check to see if we could do, because I had done a number of oil changes yesterday. Where is the and again, I'm going to be sort of like a fish out of water. I was looking for the dipstick, and no, I'm not going to go look in the mirror. Let's see, where is the dipstick? Where is the dipstick on this thing? Normally they're like prominent, front and center, like right around here, somewhere where you can get to it from the standing on the outside of the car. I was just going to check to see if you could actually check the oil. It was something in 15 that I just always did, even though you don't really have to. But quite honestly, I just don't see the dipstick. Now, I know that there are some bugs, and it's quite possible that it's big and bold right there in front of me. I don't see it, so we're not going to waste any more time on that. I do know that there are some. Well, let's look at it from this direction. I still don't see it, but that's okay. There are still some bugs that the development team are working through to resolve, and so you know, this could be one of those things. $131, not too much. You know, certainly not going to get to become millionaires with that, but that will certainly that'll certainly add to the bank account and everything. And let's see what we have in our inventory that we can possibly sell. Now, let's see. Now, one thing that you will notice is that before you could basically hold down the shift key and get rid of stuff. You can't really do that now. Because I am very close to being able to unlock the repair table, I have been saving a few things. Obviously we can't sell, or we can't repair rubber bushings, so I will get rid of those. Doubt we can repair hub bearings, small rubber bushings going, oil filter we don't repair. Some of this stuff I can't remember if we used to could repair in farms or in Car Mechanic Simulator 15 or not. I'm going to leave it for now and see if we can repair things once we get our repair table. By mistake, I bought the wrong thing. I bought the radiator fan housing instead of the actual radiator fan housing fan, which is obviously kind of confusing. So when I looked at the things that was needed, I thought it said radiator housing fan. I bought that bad boy, and so anyway, it looks like I also installed the brand new one. Should have put this one back on the car and kept the brand new one. But anyway, best laid plans of mice and men, right? All right, so let's see if we can go ahead and open up our other options here. So we are sort of filling in from the left over to the right. Some of these options, for those of you that are new, this is the Eagle Eye level 50% faster part examination. This is the 50% faster screwing and unscrewing. That obviously comes in handy. This is 50% faster part installing and removing. Looks like they've got some spelling errors there if anyone's paying attention there. This option is faster walking, so this makes it easier when you're going back and forth from the car to the computer like I am quite frequently. This is the 5% discount in shop, so that's cool. That helps us buy parts a little cheaper, and then obviously make up for it when we charge the customer, and I'll have some comments about that later on down the road. So this is our next option. This is expands your garage, adds the path test and repair table to your garage. We're going to go ahead and unlock this upgrade because that's where we are. We're just going to kind of migrate over. Most likely, probably the next level that we're going to go to here is going to be the tablet, so this will make it a little bit easier in getting parts. But there's some cool stuff here. There's recycling, there's tire tread tester, there is instantly examine 3 parts when first time seeing a car. So that, I don't know what that is, but we'll see what that does. A lot of different stuff, a lot of very different stuff with regards to, oh, there's our table. There is our repair table over here. So I don't know how this works. Let's see. There are no items to work with. What do you mean there are no items to work with? Do I not have anything that can be repaired? I've got an inventory full of stuff. Now I can't remember if we could repair wheels or not in 15. I'm pretty sure we could repair brake calipers in the 15 version, but yeah, I'm not sure. No items to work with. I'll have to read up on that and see if I'm missing something with regards to the functionality of that. So let me just check. Now the game is not as optimized. And let me get a drink of coffee here. Stand by. This is version 1.1.2, and the game is not as optimized. Find and fix all engine problems. Let's see. Here's some brake problems. Let's do some brake jobs, or a brake job. That's kind of a good beginner kind of thing that you guys can see. Now we'll do some more advanced stuff in time. I have just done some jobs offline, and I'll be completely honest with you. I did record what was going to become episode 1, but I had some problems with still getting things dialed in as far as my performance of the game. Again, the game is not very well optimized. They have done a remarkable job on releasing some patches and everything, but it's still just a little bit, and that glare is kind of crazy. So they have done a remarkable job in we can examine parts like this. Looks like everything is good there. I still like to go ahead. I just kind of do things the way that I kind of would like to do things. I mean, if this were my car, I'd make sure I got a paint job on it. But I like to look at things and sort of examine it and take the wheels and everything off of it, and I realize that maybe we don't have to pull all the wheels off, but it's just kind of something that I would do if this were my car. I'd want them to check everything out really well, and really and truthfully, the only way that you can check the conditions of your brake pads is actually to pull your wheels off. So it's certainly not a wasted effort on our part. Now this thing had some brake problems, didn't it? So what is the car status? Part not discovered. Okay. Well, again, we are dealing with customers that come in and tell us limited information. They may say, let me try to get rid of that glare. They may say, well, my car is not stopping very well, so maybe the first thing that we're going to do in our troubleshooting step is to actually take a look at the brake. And it's possible that there is nothing wrong with the brake situation like that. So let's take a look at other possibilities it could be. Let's go ahead and lower the car and get under the hood, or the bonnet for my English friends, And let's see. Oh, see, I'm still getting used to these keys, so do please bear with as I sort of figure these things out. Well, it looks like everything is good there under the hood. So again, are we missing something here? Brake problems. All right, let's just go ahead and tear things down here. I do hope that they, I like the shiny look of things, granted, but in addition, it's a bit too shiny, and it even, it's odd how that, I mean, this caliper looks bad, if I'm honest. I mean, this is probably where our problem is right here. I'm not sure why it wasn't showing up in the examine mode, but there again, sometimes you just pull everything off. Now, one thing that I don't agree with regards to how Car Mechanic Simulator deals with things is, like, as an example, if I were doing this job for myself, okay, if I was doing this brake job myself on my own car, which I have not done a brake job on my own car in years. As you get busy with life, a professional career, all that kind of stuff, and got other things going on in your life, sort of the last thing that you have time to do is do a lot of this stuff. Also, space is also the thing. Brake pads, brake caliper, brake caliper. Okay, there we go. We just basically needed to use our eyeballs and look for rust instead of it telling us with the little red color. So rust is bad typically, but again, kind of getting used to the new game and the new concepts of stuff. So brake pads and brake calipers. So let's go into brakes, and we need basically two calipers. So now we can do this, and I was saying I was so happy to see this added into the thing, because we needed this in 15. You needed the ability to order multiple parts at the same time without having to sort of go back and forth and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so mount part, we got to switch over to that mode, and now we just start throwing things back on here, just like we did in the days of Car Mechanic Simulator 15. And this is a new feature where you can add the brake caliper and the brake caliper cylinder together. So we're basically seeing those independent parts. Before we did not see the independent parts. It was just assumed that it was a brake caliper, and then it was a brake caliper cylinder that was put in. Now, I do try very much to put, when I take lug nuts off or on, or tighten any other sort of bolts and stuff like that, I do try to what am I going to say? I do try to do things somewhat realistic. In other words, I try to do things like in a star pattern, if the game sort of is cooperating with me and allowing me to do that. Now, what do I mean by that? The game, like I said, is still being optimized. It's still being worked on. There's some updates being released for it. Since I've owned it, see what I mean? The controls are just a little bit hokey. So anyway, since I've had it, they've probably released 3 or 4 updates. I know that just reading in the forums on Steam, there's quite a bit of discussion on there's that glare, just how many different updates there's been. I don't know, but sounds like they're well aware of some of the problems. As a matter of fact, they've even offered, strangely enough, an apology to their customers, basically, as to apologizing for releasing a game that may not have been 100% ready for prime time when it actually got released. Now, obviously, it's been in testing. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen some of the folks covering it on YouTube in the beta version, and see, I would never put this back on there Um, and maybe I'm thinking, you know, maybe a brake job just on the back. But sometimes the game doesn't. Sometimes the game doesn't actually have you doing the right thing. For example, you may just replace brakes on one wheel and not on both or all four, which is kind of odd. So let's just check our list here. I think we're good to go. There is a bug that I've heard about that when you try to finish an order with the car that's up on the rack, that the game kind of freaks out a little bit. And obviously you wouldn't do that anyway. You would go ahead and lower it down. You would close the hood for the customer, and we would then say sayonara. Thank you. Thank you for your $325. Okay, so this is about 21 minutes. I will do some research on the parts table and see if I can figure that out. Let's just see if we got any additional XP on that job. We did not, so it'll be a while before we can open up some of these things. And I will go ahead and tell you up front that I'm not a big fan of the whole racetrack or the driving concept of this game, because there goes again the controls. Trying to use the arrow keys. I don't even think this will work with like an Xbox type USB controller, and so I'm really not interested in driving a vehicle with the keyboard and mouse. And oddly enough, you have to actually drive a vehicle to get through the demo mode of this game. And I did that just to get through that, but it was scary. You would not want to ride with me in a test sort of situation. But so I showed you some of that stuff. You know, we'll kind of figure some of this stuff out as we go along. Here is two new features for the game. We can unmount and mount tires from rims, and then we can also balance tires and rims. So that's kind of cool. There's also this feature here which allows you to pull your springs and set up your shocks and everything that way, and just probably a whole lot of other stuff that I haven't even found yet, because I'm just really getting into this as well. And I'm going to go through this. This is one game that even in this 15 version, I did not cheat. I worked my way through all the levels. You know, like Farm Sim and Truck Sim, I will admit that, you know, I cheat a little money in from time to time, or I will use a different profile for my multiplayer on Truck Sim. But this is a game that I do like the grind, and as long as there's not a problem that basically doesn't allow me to save my game, or it corrupts my profile or something like that, I'm pretty much okay going through the grind and just doing everything the way that it's supposed to be. It's kind of cool that way. And so we'll eventually take advantage of some things. Let's go over here to the door for just a few minutes, and I can kind of show you some of the other things that are available. So here's where we are in our garage. We've got some extra parking here that I think we can unlock at a certain point in time. Again, the test track, not going to be something I'm going to be involved in that much. Racetrack, there again, same thing. The junkyard, the car auctions, and the barn finds, these are things that I am very, very excited about, especially the junkyard and the barn finds, because obviously we had car auctions in 15. We had car auctions in Car Mechanic Simulator 15, but junkyard and barn finds are brand new. So I'm just itching to get in there and see what kind of trouble that we can get into by doing that, and seeing if we can increase not only our XP but also increase our money so we can do more things. So thank you all so much for watching episode 1 of Car Mechanic Simulator 18 here on the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. Please go ahead and click the like button, and also please click subscribe. I would love to have you a part of the Grizzly Bear Sims family. I consider all my subscribers to be my friends. So thank you all so much for watching this introduction episode to the brand new Car Mechanic Simulator 18. Take care. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves and each other, and come back here real soon. Bye-bye.